A toast to betrayal. The champagne flute shattered against the marble floor, its delicate chimes swallowed by the din of the gala. My wife's voice, sharp as the glass shards, cut through the laughter and clinking glasses. A toast, she said, her lips curling into a smile that didn't reach her eyes, to the loser who signs the checks, but will never be my real lover. The room froze, 100 eyes darting to me, their pity a weight I could feel in my bones. I stood, chute pristine, heart hammering, as her words carved a hollow space inside me. She raised her glass, her gaze locked on mine, daring me to react. I laughed, a brittle, forced sound that tasted like ash. The crowd followed, uneasy, assuming it was a cool joke between spouses. But I saw the truth in her eyes, a glint of defiance, of something long hidden now laid bare. My hand trembled as I lifted my own glass, the champagne bitter on my tongue. "To love," I said, my voice steady despite the storm within. She smirked, sipped, and turned away, her silk dress whispering secrets as she glided toward the balcony. The night air was thick with the scent of jasmine and cigarette smoke when I followed her. The city skyline glittered below, indifferent to the fracture in my world. For months, I'd ignored the signs, her late nights at the office, the private calls she dismissed with a wave, the way her touch had grown perfunctory, like a chore. I'd told myself it was stress, that her law firm's demands were stealing her from me. But now, her words echoed in my skull, each syllable a confirmation of the dread I'd buried. "Claire," I said, my voice low, the name tasting foreign. She leaned against the railing, her profile sharp against the city lights, and didn't turn. "What was that?" I asked, stepping closer, the cold metal of the railing biting my palm. She exhaled, a slow, deliberate breath, and finally faced me. Her eyes, once warm, were now strangers, hard, unyielding. "You heard me, David," she said, her tone clipped, like she was dictating terms in a deposition. "Don't pretend you didn't know." My chest tightened, a vice squeezing my ribs. I wanted to scream, to demand names, dates, proof, but my mind snagged on a memory, her perfume on a scarf I didn't recognize, tucked in her briefcase 2 weeks ago. I'd dismissed it, rationalized it as a gift, a client's gesture. Now, it felt like a blade. "Who is he?" The question slipped out, raw and ragged, betraying the composure I clung to. Her laugh was soft, almost pitying, and it stung worse than her toast. "Does it matter?" she said, tilting her head. "You've been so busy playing the devoted husband, you didn't notice I stopped loving you years ago." The words landed like blows, each one cracking the fragile shell of my denial. I saw us then, our first apartment, her laughter over burnt dinners, the promises we'd whispered under starlit skies. Had it all been a lie? I stepped back, the balcony's edge too close, the drop below a mirror to the void inside me. "Why now?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper, "Why humiliate me like this?" Claire's expression softened, just for a moment, and I glimpsed the woman I'd married, flawed, human, conflicted. "Because I'm tired, David," she said, her voice breaking. "Tired of pretending, of hiding. I didn't mean to hurt you, but I can't keep living this half-life." The confession should have broken me, but instead, a cold clarity settled in. I thought of the late-night emails I'd sent to my assistant, Sarah, the ones that lingered too long on personal matters. I thought of the way Sarah's smile had warmed me, how I'd justified it as harmless. Had Claire seen it? Had my own quiet betrayals pushed her to this? The realization twisted in my gut, guilt and anger warring within me. "Then who is your real lover?" I asked, the question a dare, a plea. She hesitated, her fingers tightening around her glass. The silence stretched, heavy with unspoken truths, until she finally spoke. "It's not a he, David," she said, her voice steady now. "It's her. It's always been her." The world tilted, the city lights blurring as my mind reeled. "Huh." The word conjured images of Claire's colleague, Lena, their shared glances, their easy laughter I'd dismiss as friendship. I wanted to hate her, to rage, but all I felt was a hollow ache. "How long?" I asked, needing to know, dreading the answer. 2 years, she said, and the number was a punch to my chest. 2 years of lies, of shared mornings and hollow I love yous. I turned away. The cities drowning out the chaos in my head. Behind me, Claire's voice was soft, almost tender. I'm sorry, David. I didn't want it to end like this. But it had ended, not with a fight or a tearful confession, but with a toast that shattered everything. I walked back into the gala, the laughter and music a cool mockery of my unraveling life. Claire stayed on the balcony, a silhouette against the night, and I wondered if I'd ever truly known her, or myself.